Hello and welcome back to another Star Citizen video. Today we have Alpha, or rather yesterday, we have Alpha 4.3.1 drop for all backers, and of course we have much more descriptive for the intended medical gameplay. Or you know what, I have a feeling this a little bit of a placeholder because I think everything is subject to change, but you know what? I think at least we have a concrete, descriptive gameplay from the developers, right? Which is great. And I have a few takes on it. One of it is like, which direction of medical gameplay we want to go to. Unfortunately, some of them might be broken because of how player behavior is, or yeah, it's a long thing, and I try to make it as short as I can. So here we go. Before we begin, like, subscribe, hit the notification button and help this channel grow. I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. It is going to be a challenge. Let's see if we can hit it. And of course, we're going to start off with the only PSA for Star Citizen. You only need a starter pack in order to enjoy the game. You do not need to buy anything else, which I'm going to talk a little bit as well, because we have some ships that we want to reevaluate due to not say due to, because we got more information on the medical gameplay. That's right. Okay, so let's start off with a quick little cover for the Alpha 4.3.1 drop, Virtue's Descent. Now, this is a very nice update because we get a little bit more content, which is great, and we definitely have more, I won't say expansion, scalability. Yep, a lot of mission these days where CIG has dropped, it is small for now, but it has potential to scale to a bigger version of whatever they want to do, which is great. All they need to do is to make sure to get all the small basic gameplay out, and bigger map slash dungeon slash stuff is usually a combination of multiple goals and gameplay, and that is fantastic. So right now we have a, I won't say revised, but at least we now have a reason to go for bunkers, right, in a way, which is great. And because of this little addition, it gives me a little bit more hope. And I think, all right, hopeful thinking, wishful thinking, that the developer will make it more towards a roguelike procedural generated dungeon, because that would be fantastic. Yeah. Okay. So, without going too deep, because again, everything is subject to change, hopefully they will improve for the better, that's for sure. Because right now, the basic gameplay is basic, right? It's enough. The good part is it is enough for the current patch, and it is, technically speaking, it's a huge leap for Star Citizen. Yup. And of course, with that, we get medical gameplay, a proper medical gameplay. I cannot use the word proper, but at least it's a proper gameplay that the developers want to implement this style. Yep. And with that, we get the RSI Apollo, one of the best pick if you want to go for a more medical focused gameplay. Yep. But then we'll talk about the ships. Right now, we're not going to go too deep, right? The Apollo will get its own video, and I'll go a little bit more in depth. For this one, we're going to go as simple as I can. And at the same time, we have patch bundle, which immediately I'm not bothered. That is by choice and by principle. I will not buy any skin and packs other than Citizen Con pack. That's personal speaking. Usually I'll say skip everything. And if you want to put money on cosmetic, just collect a little bit more, save a little bit more, get some spaceships. I think that's the best case, right? And then CIG has been building their funding through ship purchasing, so that's why bundle I'm not really that bothered, right? Except for Citizen Con. That's the only exception. So with the patch, we got some medical ships that are available. Now, before we go to this part, we want to take a look at the gameplay first, because some of them will change, my opinion. And some ship that I used to value a lot, like for example, the Apollo, I used to value a lot, but something changed a little bit down the line, and my opinion also changed because of that, and of course other ships as well, because medical gameplay is a very, very niche part as well. But at least it's a little bit more applicable for those who wants to do first-person shooter content. Okay, with that, let's get into the brief medical gameplay. So for those who have been playing Star Citizen, you are probably well aware that you have injuries, and injuries are considered, I would make it simple, debuff. All right, so we have minor debuff, moderate debuff, and severe debuff. And the debuff also can be from harder to aim, harder to move, to you cannot hold your weapon at all, and I think you cannot move. No, you cannot move is only when you're when you got incapacitated. Let's see, legs increase severity, forcing you to prone. Oh, you have to prone. You cannot stand or crouch. Okay, cool. Limited mobility for legs. All right, sweet. So it is a debuff. Consider that. For those who do not know what debuff is, right? For those who know, you probably played at least some sort of RPG and whatnot, right? So it's basically negative traits. I don't know. I only can explain the word debuff. Basically negative effects. All right, and that's that. And of course, for those who have been playing, you have the ways to heal. One of it is Mad Pen, multi-tool, and of course, with a much not say recent, but they want to push a little bit more medical focused gameplay. So instead of having a multi-tool that you can do everything, you have to also carry a medical tool. Now this is great for people who wants to role play, because now you have to choose. All right, do you want to go more medical focus, become a combat medic or medic? This is great when you're going in as a squad, but if you're doing it solo, you can't really carry everything. Technically, I wish they, yeah, right now they have a few things for the inventory, which I'm not going to comment too much. At the current build, you can carry medical pen, multi-tool, and the medical tool as well. But however, with this proper patch, now we have a few items that we need to carry as well. So more stuff we need to carry. And this is the part where I think later down the road they should implement carry capacity, like very strict carry capacity, so that you really need to choose. All right, if I were to carry a multi-tool, I cannot carry the medical multi-tool, vice versa. And then if I were to carry medical pen, I need to make sure I can carry, if I want to carry all, probably one of each or two of each, and that's about it. You know what? I'm going to say one of each if you want to carry all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means you're going to have a pouch that you can fit all 6, because that really makes a good meaning on, okay, you know what? If I want to go into an event, I need to properly get my loadout. That's the reason why I want to have at least a bit more limitation. That's one hot take. Okay. Next up, incapacitation. Now this part is a little bit wonky at the moment, but with the current new medical gameplay reintroduction, I'm gonna call it reintroduction, because now usually incapacitation, personally, I'll just respawn. Truth to be told, this is one bad player behavior. I'll just respawn. Now with this, they introduced that you can do a beacon, and when you put a beacon out, they have a payout of 15,000 UEC. Now this is a little bit iffy, because if it's implemented wrongly, not say implemented wrongly, if it's executed wrongly, people will abuse, and that's a guaranteed. Okay, so right now I'm hovering between that the 15,000 should come out from the player's pocket in a way, but then again, because of that, UEC is a little bit interesting, because on one end is that you can have another person that just keep going down, put rescue beacon, another person just keep on rescuing, and ta-da, free money. That's a problem. Free money is a problem. So that's that. Yeah. So we want to see how this go, and if it's coming up from the player's pocket, that's gonna be a little bit better in my opinion. Yeah. So let's see how this goes. All right, let's see the results. Would people over abuse it or not? Because on one end, it really incentivizes people to do what do you call this, medical beacon quest whatnot, and then it encourage people when they go down, instead of doing a respawn, they can, send out a beacon. So that's that. Okay, so next part, the most important thing, medical beds. Now, medical beds has tier 3 to 1, 1 being the highest. Now, this part is a little bit interesting because now they actually changed this a few times. So now they come with a more concrete solution. Hopefully this is the base. So tier 3, you can heal every destabilize patient, restore health, heal minor injuries, and regenerate those who imprint that have died within 50,000 meters. So tier 3 for minor injuries, tier 2 for moderate injuries, tier 1 for all injuries. Now, the one hot take for this is that I don't like personally is the range. Right? Tier 1 has ludicrous range, in my opinion. Ludicrous range. I would say they should split up. You know what? They should split up. They should have two. I don't know how to put this solution, but this is too much. This is too much. Now it becomes, a lot of people will definitely try to abuse the respawn. I would definitely say I will try to abuse the respawn a lot. Okay. But you know what? With that, I'm gonna put a pin. Let's see how this play out, because I also want to play out and make sure that I don't really abuse it. But one of the biggest reasons why I prefer medical ship is respawn. This is literally respawn. And talking about respawn, how do they want to navigate away from this abusement? And that is med gel. So this part, at least it makes more sense to circumnavigate the respawn abuse. So tier 3 med beds, 2000 SCU of med gel, tier 3 200, tier 2 400, tier 1 600. Okay, so what does med gel do? Every time you use a medical bed, you need to use the med gel. So in this case, 5 for minor injuries, 10 for minor and oh, okay, no. So for tier 3, it's always 5, but it's only minor injury. Tier 2, 10 for minor and moderate. So basically when you heal, makes sense. Okay, makes sense. Basically, it's an all heal. Yeah, you go in, if it's a tier 3, only minor injuries get healed. If you go for tier 2, anything minor and moderate gets healed. Tier 1, everything. Ta-da. So it makes sense. So even if you got minor injury and you go for a tier 1 bed, it still use 20. I do agree it should be like this. That way people will decide. All right, this give people choice. Okay, I should use a tier 3 for this type of injuries. All right, tier 2, tier 1. It makes more of a conscious choice rather than just spam tier 1. Yes, good. This is nice. Okay, next part, imprinting and regenerating, aka respawn. So if we look at all the med bay tier, all of them cost 100 SCU of med gel, and of course we have the range enough to cover most star systems. This part is crazy, right? Most gameplay area, most planetary bodies, most star system. Personally, I think this 2 is way too much. You reduce a little bit, just a little bit, maybe half. Like for example, tier 2, you can cover like half of the planetary bodies. Make sure you're in the correct area. And then for tier 1, instead of all most star system, at least give like, all right, within 2 to 3 planetary bodies. Yeah, because in general, most tier 1 will always be near to gameplay areas in general to begin with. So maybe doesn't really have a doesn't really matter. All right, so I'm gonna just stop there for now until we get the next iteration or the next medical report, I would say. Okay, so now this is the most important thing. There are 3 reasons for your imprint medical bed may fail to meet the condition of a successful regeneration. The medical bed has been destroyed, obviously. Medical bed supply manager has been exhausted. Self-explanatory. The medical bed outside of its effective range, also self-explanatory. So in general, I think most likely you will encounter is usually has been destroyed or med gel has been exhausted, especially for those who own at least tier 1 or tier 2 medical bed type of ships. in general. Yeah. Because usually tier 3 you'll be quite close to the gameplay area, and most tier 3s are small ships, right? Small and nimble ships, whereas tier 1 is usually huge, large, and that changes the perspective of some of the ships that I will talk about. RSI Apollo, Medivac, and Triage. Alright, we're not going to talk too much about this ship. It's going to have its own video, and I've seen some combat tests. On one end, good news, Medivac and Triage, not much of a difference, but price-wise, Okay, next up, clinics and hospital, self-explanatory. If you visit clinics and hospital, they should be the best of the best, and all you need to just pay AUEC or some currency to heal or to regen, set imprint, whatnot. That's it. All right. They do not retain. They depends on matchup. Yeah, no, it's there. This is technically the true respawn point. I'll call it. Today and tomorrow. All right, so that's that. Next up, we're gonna move to life, death, and life again beyond. All right, I'm not gonna go too deep on this because there is a big difference between do you want to go more sim-like or more FPS-like. For Star Citizen, we should actually strike a little bit of balance in between both. On one end, I like the extreme end, like EVE Online. If you die, you lose everything. Literally everything. Everything will be dropped or destroyed. That is how this Star Citizen handles death. If your ship gets destroyed, your ship will drop certain components, and some components will be just destroyed outright. That means you cannot sell. Yeah, you cannot air quote salvage. And this actually encourages people, not saying destroy, it will encourage people to disable, especially for a space sim, and it avoids people keep abusing the insurance. Because, for example, in EVE Online, if your whole ship gets destroyed, if you insure to the highest tier, it gets a 1-to-1 replacement. However, because there are components and whatnot in the ship, now EVE Online, I don't think they cover ship components. So components, one way or the other, it's a loss. That's a loss, right? That's the decision if you want to go a bit more dangerous area. So Star Citizen should follow the same thing as well. Base insurance should cover the whole ship, and then when the ship is destroyed, if the components are insured as well, which Star Citizen wanted to do it, personally speaking, I would say, you know what, components should get destroyed as well. You know, I'm just gonna go straight to the hardcore. But for this case, you know what, let's keep the basic components. However, if the ship gets disabled or destroyed in combat, then some of the component, or at least half of the component, should be destroyed one way or the other to avoid duplication type of cheat, glitch, player behavior, I would call it. Okay, so that's that. This is a quick little chart on how people navigate around, not yet, a quick explanation on how the thing goes. So that's that. Multiple imprints on at once. First key. Alright, so this is not a big deal right now. Basically, just imprint on how many imprints can you put in an area or stuff like that. Okay. So that's that. Mat Bay condition. Okay, so this is a small little, I would say, modifier slash condition. Now, if you go to a certain event slash area, you should not be able to regen in that area in some cases. For example, if you're in a big public event, okay, if you are right in the combat zone, they should have at least a medical bay disruptor, something like that. Okay, so if you're in that bubble, you cannot respawn. And that gives people more, not say incentive, that gives certain location that you don't camp spawn. Right, that's one of the biggest issue for respawn. Right, people will camp, especially if you have like a base versus base, and that's one thing which is great. Right, so at least they listed out a few things. And then of course, if you keep respawning in a certain area, we also want to have regeneration timer. The more you respawn, the longer you have to wait. That is, yeah, that is a must, in my opinion. So we have that. Enabled by event, disabled by distortion. Haha, there we go. All right, invalidated by distant. Okay, this is normal. System UEC fees. Yes, so when you want to regen, you need to pay a fee one way or the other. It has to be, unless you own the ship, right? If you own the ship, that's a different story. And then, of course, we have some other stuff like invalidated by distance. If you travel away from certain range from a respawn point, automatically it gets dropped. Done. Destructible, yeah, that's that. Okay, mat bay permission, this is self-explanatory, which changes to regeneration surf interface. Okay, this is something that they will rework a few times for sure. Okay, so when you get incapacitated, some things should not be available for use. For example, game chat is still accessible. Okay, that's cool. Personally, I would say only for teams. If you're solo, yeah, the game chat should be, no, I don't know how to implement this, because on one end, if you're in the combat war zone, you can actually kind of air quote spy, but then again, if you get incapacitated, might people just kill you outright. Yeah. Okay. Info, yes, regeneration option, self-explanatory, invalid location. Okay, so basically just all basic right now. Not gonna go through too much. Rescue bonus, a note to the first responders. All right. That's about it. So that's that for the medical gameplay. Overall, at least now we have enough information to do one or two big decision, and that is the ship. Okay, now before we go to the ship part, did they put... I remember they show you somewhere on the medical bit. Give me a sec. Okay, found it. It's here. Let's go to number one. All right, RSI Apollo Medivac and Triage. This one has all the medical tier beds, so this is great. So that's why this is it is still, right, in my opinion, it is still the best ship to pick if you want to just focus on medical gameplay and if you want to do pure FPS content. Best, hands down, because it has tier 1. Yep, tier 1 bed. And the size, unfortunately, Apollo is kind of huge. It's kind of huge. Next up, the Anvil Terrapin Medic. Only one tier 2 medical bed, so not the best. But then again, if you are not severely injured, this can serve, in our opinion, can serve as a like a forward medical facility per se, especially in a combat zone. Now, because it's not tier 1, that means you have to be a little bit careful. The moment you got major injuries, probably you need to get dragged in, and then you fly out. So this is mainly a hot, not say hot drop, it is a hot drop. You come in hot, pick up whoever you need, go out. Yeah. All right, cool. So that's the Terrapin Medevac. Drake Cutlass Raid. This used to be my favorite. It is still my favorite go-to daily driver. Now, because of some changes, I don't think it's a big change as well. It still is a great daily driver. It has enough firepower and whatnot. And it has at least 2, okay, tier 3 medical bed. So it is mainly for people to just go in, and then this is the part I'm going to say I abuse this a lot, right? Get a Cutlass Raid, go in hot, and then if you were to get injuries above severe, if you get incapacitated, yeah, just respawn. Bloop. That's the problem. That's my... can I use the word abuse? I try my best not to abuse too much, okay? But that's how it is. That's the gameplay. So Drake Cutlass Raid. And one of the big reasons why I say it's a good daily driver, because it's built on the base Drake Cutlass, and by itself it's already a great ship. So having a option to cure minor injuries, actually not a big deal. It is the respawn. That's it. And again, the price is way cheaper than the Apollo. Way cheaper. Next up, the Anvil Pisces 8 C8R. Now, if you think the Cutlass Raid is way too expensive, but you still want to do some FPS content, the Anvil Pisces C8R is a top pick. It's the smallest, most agile ship, and again, no difference than a Cutlass Raid, other than not say space combat, other than if you want to do bounty hunting, at least the Cutlass Raid is doable. Yeah, the Pisces, no. Right, this is mainly used as a space ambulance. In this case, it's exactly the same as Ursa Medivac. All right. The only difference is I will not pick up the Medivac if my ship is big and it can fit a Pisces. Normally, I'll just go for the Pisces. But obviously, most large ship usually carry vehicles instead of ships, and then of course the Ursa Medivac is a much smaller vehicle compared to the Pisces. So you cannot go wrong with these two vehicles slash ship, but do note this is a vehicle. That's it. That's it. If you want to get a vehicle, make sure you can carry it in your ship. That's that. And with that, that comes to a conclusion. The RSI Apollo, I'm just gonna go quick little check on it. We want to take a look at the price tag. Now the price tag is definitely expensive. It is above $200. Now the only difference is that doesn't matter if you pick the triage or the medivac, you mainly want this. And the best part about it is that actually Apollo does pack quite a punch. I am surprised it packs quite a punch, right? Triage, $260 non-warborn, and the Medivac non-warborn is $290. Now, 260, that's a lot of money. Cutlass rate, 135. Haha, there we go. That's the reason why I choose the Cutlass rate. It's way cheaper. And then, of course, Pisces, literally $65. So personally, if you want to play a little bit of medical gameplay in general, Ursa Medivac and Pisces is the best way to get into it. Yep. So with that, something has changed, okay? So now I value more on the Ursa Medivac and the Pisces, all right? If you can carry it in your ship, if you cannot, the Cutlass rate still stands, but because of the tier 1 bid, technically, the Apollo Triage is the best daily driver if you do not do two things, right? A, PvE bounty hunting. B, cargo running. This ship is terrible for cargo running. Yes, you can do small cargo running, but if you want to do a bit larger, like having cargo boxes and whatnot, this ship is not good. And that is my last hot take. There is a lot of empty space in the Apollo Triage. A lot of empty space. Now, lore-wise, I do understand a little bit, right? If you go to any medical facility, you want a little bit more clean and big space per se. But in a game, wasted space. Anyway, that's all I have for you for today. I will definitely take another look at the RSI Apollo because I need to play it. And of course, I know I probably will love it, but at that price point, I would rather get bigger ships. One of the ships that I'm aiming for, I dropped the Apollo because of the RSI Galaxy. Now, that's a much more expensive ship, do note, okay? Is it the daily driver? Personally, it's not really a daily driver, but I'm gonna try to use it as... Anyway, that's a story for another day when that ship comes out. Until then, that's all I have for you for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification button and help this channel grow. I'm trying to aim for 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Until then, I will see you in the verse and fly dangerous. Yep.